Hi, I'm Lisa Dellwo. I'm with Science in the Triangle, and I'm talking to Rick MacPherson of the Coral Reef Alliance. We're here at Science Online 2011 in Research Triangle Park, and tell us what brought you here.
Well, this is my third conference that I'm attending for the Science Online series, and this is the fifth conference that has been going on, and it brings me here because I'm a science writer, I'm a science blogger, I'm a scientist who writes versus someone who writes about science. And this began as an online community getting together, a community of online scientists who enjoyed writing and communicating their science to a broader public. And it's now expanded. Here we are 5 years in, and it's expanded to include Pulitzer Prize-winning journalists that are now attending this this conference and sharing their passion for writing about science as well. But at its core, it still speaks to scientists wanting to get their message across.
And you're a scientist. What's your training?
I'm a marine biologist. My background is marine ecology, and my work right now is in coral reef conservation, coral reef ecology.
So tell us about the Coral Reef Alliance.
Coral is our nickname, Coral Reef Alliance, and we're about a 16-year-old organization, small nonprofit based in San Francisco. However, we work around the world wherever there are coral reef destinations. Corals are in decline, they're dying worldwide due to a variety of both global and local factors. Our job is to try to buy time until our governments could get their act together with regard to making the necessary changes that have to happen in curbing climate change impacts to coral reefs. That's a big global problem that's hard to tackle at the local level, but there are local challenges that we could help jurisdictions remove those threats. So we take what the science tells us about what is the best approach to conserving coral reefs, and we apply it in all of these different destinations around the world: Mexico, Belize, Honduras, Guatemala, Hawaii, Papua New Guinea, Fiji, and Indonesia.
Which reminds me to ask you about Mai Tais and bed bugs, I think it was.
Well, I blogged for about 4 years independently on a blog that I created called Malaria, Bedbugs, Sea Lice, and Sunsets. Yes, go look for that on Google. And it is basically my take on doing conservation and doing ocean science and coral reef ecology. And the title is a bit of a inside joke because I travel to these destinations that are beautiful, and a lot of people go there on holidays to Fiji and Bali and other places like that. Everyone was saying to me, well, your life must be just one big string of beautiful sunsets and pina coladas. And I said, yes, well, in addition to the bedbugs, sea lice, and malaria that I have to dodge. So I blogged there for 4 years. It's still up, but I've now moved to a group blog, and I'm blogging with a collection of other ocean scientists on Deep Sea News. And we're probably the most heavily trafficked ocean science blog in the world.
And in addition to that, what are you doing at the Alliance in terms of new media?
We've been exploring. It's slow to get organizations, I think, to adopt the new media. Some have embraced new media faster than others. I think being a small organization, we have an ability to try things out and test out some new technologies and new ways of communicating. We've explored both Facebook, and we're about to try to explore Twitter. It's always a return on investment of time that we have to look at, because it pulls our limited staff away to do yet another type of engagement with the public. But we're seeing some good returns on our use of Facebook. People want to talk to us. Who knew it? And you know, normally with conservation organizations or nonprofits, we do most of the talking to them, and we haven't had an opportunity to have true social engagement with our constituents. Facebook's allowing that. And I think that blogs like Deep Sea News and southernfriedscience.com, these are fantastic ocean science opportunities, opportunities for readers and constituents and members of our organization to talk back at us.
Great. So what are the downsides of working in the social media?
Well, the double-edged sword is you get people to talk to you, but sometimes you don't want some of the comments that you're getting, and you have to take the good with the bad. There are folks out there that have agendas sometimes that they're trying to rally against scientific outlooks. For example, the evolution science is constantly battling cranks, or as we call them in the online community, trolls, who just want to visit our sites and leave comments that foment dissension rather than productive commentary. And I end up dealing with quite a few on our social media experiments with climate change, because one of the major drivers to coral reef decline around the world is due to climate change. Increased sea surface temperatures are bleaching corals, and now we have the creeping problem of increased CO2 in the atmosphere leading to ocean acidification. So literally our coral reefs can dissolve right before our eyes if we don't curb climate change contributions of CO2 loading into the atmosphere. So, of course, that brings out the climate change denialists who are working either on political agendas or working on lobbyist agendas and doing their best to try to make it appear as if the scientific community is not in agreement around very strong consensus that there is in the scientific community based on the evidence that we have that climate change is real, it's happening.
And do you engage with those trolls or commenters, or is it best not to?
The general outlook is don't feed trolls. And I think it works in real life as well as in fairy tales. You can fan the flames of trolls, and there really is no putting them out, because they tend to have an agenda that they're trying to advance, and you actually elevate and give credibility when you reach a point of engaging people that are just in it, not really, as I said, to advance a discussion, but mostly to make it seem as if there's a constant battle, that science has to constantly battle this. Our position has not been demonstrated by the evidence, and that science is somehow opinion-based. And that's probably the biggest disconnect that seems to exist in some of the non-scientific commenters or readers that might not understand how science operates as a process. It's not a democratic process. It's a process of using evidence and data to speak, and that needs to be able to be where we put our confidence, not in opinions or in anecdotal experiences. And unfortunately, we like, as Americans at least, we like democratic processes. Who agrees? Raise your hand. That's not how science operates.
Good. Well, thank you very much. I'll let you get back to your sessions now.
All right, thank you.